Coming up, I'll tell you why workers are quitting jobs at the fastest rate in history. I'll tell you the 3 things that you actually can control, and we'll take your calls and your chats. It starts right now. Coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. It's all about you living and working on purpose. You were created to fill a unique role. You are needed, and you must do it. I don't think this is an option because somebody out there in this world needs you to be you. So stop thinking about fame and fortune and power and think about influence. I'm Ken. Welcome aboard. So workers, American workers, are quitting their jobs at the fastest rate in history. Now, the Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes the figures on workers and how many are quitting their jobs and how often. It's called the Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. And they've been measuring this data since December of 2000. Okay. Now, this is really amazing. And I'm going to get to the 2 main reasons why workers are quitting their jobs at a really high rate, okay? And then I'm going to give you the context for it, okay? So in August of 2019, a record-breaking 4,478,000 workers quit their jobs. And that's in the month of August, folks. I mean, that is mind-blowing. Now, by the way, I want to give credit here, as I always do. This is a CNBC published article. Okay. So, 2 major reasons that people are quitting. The first one is their pay. Now, we are in a hot job market, okay? And so, many times, the best way for somebody to get a raise is to quit their job and go somewhere else. Because what we have right now, I talk about this all the time, and we still are in this environment. It's not going to be this way forever, but we are in a hot job cycle. Simply put, more jobs available right now in the United States than there are people who are unemployed. So what happens is it becomes a job seekers environment because companies are going, okay, we're going to have to pay higher to attract people from other companies. Right? It's a survival of the fittest. We're trying to get ours. Okay. So, but wages are not going up for continued workers at a super high rate, right? For workers that are in the job now. So you're getting your 3%, 3.5, 4%, an average raise is kind of the standard right now in the American marketplace. Okay. So a major reason people are quitting, number 1, they want an opportunity to make more money. But there's a second reason. Not only are companies not giving out as many raises, they're also making fewer promotions, and that's directly attached to why the raises aren't happening. Because it's just common sense, an employee is going to expect a raise if they get a promotion. But because promotions aren't happening, money's not following, and then we're not seeing as many people move up the ladder into leadership positions, okay? Otherwise known as managers most of the time. But that's a leadership role. And so you've got the average manager is dealing with 30% more direct reports. That's straight out of this article. So what's happening? People aren't being led well. And that's another reason they're leaving. People don't leave companies, they leave leaders. It's really true. You think about it. You could be in a not so overall healthy company, but if you've got a really good leader, you're going to be largely immune to some of the stuff that would make you want to walk. And that's the point. All right, so the context for this. Hot job economy. People are going to leave. They're going to go, wait a second. I can literally transition into a similar role, different company, make more money. So what's the message? There's a 2-fold message for my audience. Number 1, those of you that are leaders, you better figure this out. If you get too many direct reports and you're not leading well, people are going to leave you. Number 2, if you're the American worker, you want to make more money, start looking outside. 844-747-2577 is the number to join in on the conversation. Also in the chat room. So you're looking at me right now on YouTube. A couple things I want you to do. Below the window right here, I'd love for you to like today's episode if you're enjoying it. That's an algorithm thing. YouTube pays attention to that. We'd really appreciate that. So hit that thumbs up button just like that. I believe it is. And also, we'd love for you to subscribe and share while you're on YouTube. You're already here. You're watching. You're engaging. If you do that for us, that helps us grow. And I need your help. So thank you in advance. And then jump in the chat room. You got a question? We're going to get to those questions in a little bit. Encourage each other. Jump in. Be active. All right. 844-747-2577. That is the phone number to jump in. We go to Syracuse, Indiana, where Jason joins us. Jason, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. My name is Jason. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How can I help?
Question for you, sir. Thank you for asking.
Hey, Jason, hold on, buddy. Before we get started, we're going to have to figure out that phone connection. I don't know if you're holding... Make sure you're not on speakerphone, and let's get that phone up close to your mouth. Let's try that again.
Can you hear me now?
That's better. Yes. How can I help?
Okay. My question for you, Ken, is I'm stuck in a management position, and my skills are not being fully utilized, and I want to switch career fields. I work in a grocery store and a lot of food service background. I want to switch into something else.
Okay. What do you want to switch to?
Well, here's what I was thinking, like customer service management or like an account manager.
Okay. Great.
And what I don't know yet, but that's not important.
Okay. So what's your question for me?
So I'm trying to determine what to switch into.
Well, let's break it down. I think you've already identified a couple things that you'd like to switch to. So if you're looking for a clarification, I think you've already started that process. What are a couple other roles, a couple other types of industries that you are interested in, and you go find out more about them. And that's the idea of sitting down or talking to people that are in those roles, and you clarify what all is involved, and is that something you want to do? But I think you're okay there. I think you're looking for confirmation. And that's what I want to focus on. And I think confirmation comes down to, let's look at your sweet spot. What do you do best? And
I've done.
Go ahead. No, you go.
So I have done a lot of research on this, what you do with people. So I don't know where you want to start. I guess I can do a couple things. First, what stands out for me when I think about me, customer service, leadership, inspire others, train. This is wrong. Public speaking. But I heard people telling me, you're a great public speaker, you're a good teacher, you have great interpersonal skills with people, you're a great leader, you planned and organized church events well.
Okay. So you've just laid out the information. What do you do best? You just laid that out. Yeah. Then what do you love to do? And so the work, the function, the role, and I can tell you it's going to be very parallel to what you just listed out. Those things you're good at, you like doing, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So Jason, this is actually, you're fine. I mean, you're good. I think those roles you've identified allow you to use what you do best to do work you love. And then it's all about the result is the last piece. What are the results that matter? And if you're leading people and communicating to people and you're connecting people and you see the result of that, you're going to be pretty fired up during the day. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So here's the deal. We just walked through the get clear process. What do you do best? What do you love to do most? What results matter most? Folks, think of it as almost a written formula across the page. It's like a math problem. I use what I do best, fill in the blank, to do what I love to do most, fill in the blank, to create results that matter deeply to me, fill in the blank. Okay? That's it. So Jason, I think you got all the confirmation you need. Let's move forward. You're in a place where you're essentially doing the right thing in the wrong place. This is part of the Should I Quit My Job quiz. It's one of the 4 outputs. I'm doing the right thing in the wrong place, meaning you're in a place where you're not being utilized and you don't see a ladder to grow. So let's change locations. 844-747-2577 is the number. Brooke is up next in Greensboro, North Carolina. Brooke, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. I'm a new mom, and after returning to my job as a retail brand manager for an e-commerce site. I've been thinking about changing careers. I keep telling myself I need to do something with a new purpose. I had an interview a couple of weeks ago to be a recruiter, and I was in a room with 6 people, and they kept asking me, you know, what was my why and why did I want to pursue a new career? And I kept responding, and they kept pushing. And my reason was that it was really hard for me to go back to the work that I've been doing after just having had a baby. Kind of my perspective has changed. My priorities have shifted. The type of work I do didn't feel worth it to me. If I was going to be away from my child every day, I wasn't really feeling motivated to continue doing what I've been doing for 6 years. And I started to cry in the interview. It was totally out of left field. I went into the interview super confident. That's never, ever happened to me before. I apologize profusely. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. So it was really hard for me to, recover in the interview, but I stuck it out. I continued to ask them questions. They asked me questions. I kind of knew by the end of it that they probably weren't going to hire me because I kind of freaked them out.
Did you? Did you, though?
I don't know. I mean, I just felt like as soon as I broke down that they kind of, their interest level just changed. So it was really discouraging. I ended up not getting the job, which is fine. Yep. I was listening to one of your episodes from earlier in the week about, not here and not now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I felt like that resonated with me.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to do next because I really felt like I was becoming interested in the recruiter role, and it checked a lot of the boxes.
Okay, hold on. All right, so stop.
Yeah.
So stop. First of all, I love your perspective. You got your head on right. What I said is absolutely true. That no was just simply a not here, not yet. And let's talk about the tears. Let's dive back into that because you're humiliated by it. And I understand why you're humiliated, but I don't think you should be humiliated. I really don't.
Okay.
Because I think it is those tears that we need to examine. And I think that's what tells you and confirms what your future should look like. So I want us to break this down for a sec. I want you to be as vulnerable as you can because I'm going to be kind to you and I'm here to protect you. And I'm actually glad you cried. So this is all positive, but I want you to trust me. I want you to trust me. Will you trust me for the next moment or two?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think you started crying? Why'd you get emotional?
I was frustrated because I felt like I wasn't giving them the answer that they were hoping for, or that, I felt like I wasn't selling myself to them in the way that they were expecting or what they were looking for. I wasn't giving them an answer they were looking for, or my answer wasn't good enough. So I had to keep defending my thoughts. Okay.
So they kept coming back at you and you told them the why. They didn't get it that, hey, the work I was doing, it's valuable to somebody else. It means a lot to somebody else. It just doesn't connect to my heart. And they just weren't getting that. Okay.
And they were saying that they didn't think that my why would motivate me to perform in the way I needed to perform in that role.
Okay. Now, this is great. So do you agree with that statement?
I don't 100% agree with that, I don't think.
Well, you're not sure. So my question is, why are you excited? Because you just said recruiting was checking the boxes and you were excited and you go, Ken, I don't know what to do. And I'm telling you, you do know what to do. We get right back up on the horse. We fell off the horse, big deal. So what I'm pushing you on, and I don't want you to cry because I'm on your side. I actually understood what you said. And I don't know why they kept pressing at you, but I don't care because we're on the other side of that now. So what I'm diving into is, do you agree with them? And you said not 100%. So what were they saying? That your why? What's your why? Why are you interested in recruiting? Tell me, why are you interested in recruiting? Forget that. I get the part that you didn't have a connection to your previous work doing the retail brand manager for e-commerce. I get it. No connection to your heart. Yeah. But what about recruiting makes you excited? Where would that fit in your sweet spot, allowing you to use what you do best, do what you love, for a result that matters? How does recruiting answer those 3 questions?
Right. So I felt like I would be helping people And by doing that, I would be, obviously placing them in jobs and helping clients find people to put in those positions that they need filled. I communicate really well. I'm very organized, and both of those qualities were described to me in the interview process as being very important, and I already have those skills. And the income is really good from what I've been told in recruiting, so I felt like that was really important for me as well. I'd like to have more control over my income right now. I just am in a salary job, and I'm at the top of the ladder in my department. So there's really nowhere else for me to go.
So again, reminding you what you just told me moments ago, it checks all the boxes. So you didn't do a good job of convincing them on the why. But I think had you focused more on what you love most about the recruiting, what you've seen about the position and the way the position has been described to you, had you gone through and said, well, number one, I've got the talent to pull this off. This is what I do best. This communicating, connecting, being organized, driving the ball down the lane, to throw it through the hoop. That's what I do best. And boy, I really love this type of work too. And the result of this is helping a company get the right person and a person get in the right role, which is what I've experienced. Why I'm here. I know. Had you said it that way, probably would have gone better. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the deal. So now you know how to say it. I want you to use, you've been listening to the show. So here's what you do. You jump right back in. You know that recruiting checks all the boxes. This time when you go in there, you break down the sweet spot for them. Say, here's the deal. The reason that I'm here is because this is a role that is right in the middle of my sweet spot. Let me explain. This is what I do best. Top 2 or 3 things. This is what I love to do. Top 3 or 4 things. And these are the results that matter to me. And this job generates all of that for me. It's the output. And somebody hears you break it down that way, they're going to go, wow, this woman's impressive. She's thought this through. Do you see what I'm saying? So get back up on the horse.
I feel like I have gotten back up on the horse because through the proximity principle, I have an acquaintance who works at another staffing firm who I've been talking with over the past few months, and I interviewed with them, but they don't have a position open right now. So I'm just continuing that conversation with them since it didn't work out with this other place. So I tend to get impatient, and I know that's not a great quality. So it's hard for me to continue to do what I'm doing in the meantime.
I know, but here's the deal.
What's next?
But here's the deal. You got to hang in there knowing that what you're doing now is keeping you stable until the next thing comes along. Change your mindset. I'm so grateful that I got a great job right now. I got a great job. It's not my great job. Somebody's great job, but right now it's a good job. Great job for me. It's taking care of me. So it's a mindset change. And so now you're going, okay, I'm going to get there. So you got this. 844-747-2577. You know what? This is a great time for me to remind you folks that if you've got some confusion and you need clarity to the giant question that so many Americans and people around the world are asking, should I quit my job? We've got the Should I Quit My Job quiz, 20 questions, take you less than 3 minutes. It's going to spit out your information that you gave to us, and it's going to put you in one of 4 categories. So enlightening. Once you know what category you're in, it's like a report. Then I give you step-by-step what to do to get out, to change your situation to where you're ultimately in the right role, in the right place. Okay? So go get that. It's free. KenColeman.com. All right, let's go to the chat window. I love this. By the way, you're watching. Fire those questions away. Encourage each other in the chat room. By the way, we have a moderator. And so what that means is if you're some sort of what I would call online thug and you're jumping in our living room and you're saying nasty, disgusting, mean things, the team's watching right now. And if for some reason they miss it instantly, you all jump on it. Our moderator's there. We're going to ban them. I've never said that before, but I want to point that out. This is a safe place. All right. So here we go. Marissa Phillips writes in, Ken, I don't know what to do for work. I'm beloved at my 3 entry-level jobs and even being encouraged to get into management, but I'm so bored with all of them. Okay. I get that you're bored with all of them, but you're, again, at the end of your question, You go right back to where you are and you go, oh, I'm just stuck. No, you're not. You're bored. So if you've got people encouraging you to get into management, I'm curious to know what they're saying about you. What about you, your qualities and your abilities, hard skills, soft skills, okay? What about you is making people say, I think you'd be a great candidate for management? If you can list those out right now, list them out on paper and let you see yourself as others see you. That's a great exercise. If they haven't told you these qualities, go back and ask them, hey, what are my qualities and abilities, character traits, personality traits, plus my actual skills that you see that you think make me a potential management candidate? It's great. Now, after you've done that, I want you to just play this out. What would you do tomorrow if you knew you couldn't fail and you didn't have to commit for 30 years to this one thing? What would you do? All right. And then let's walk through our sweet spot exercise. What do you do best? What do you love to do most? What results matter most? Piece of paper, write those headings out, columns, fill it out. Get feedback from people who are truth tellers in your life, but know you well enough to verify what you've written down about yourself. This is a self-awareness exercise. That's all the sweet spot exercise is. And it allows you to create a sentence. I'm going to use what I do best, fill in the blank. To do what I love to do most, fill in the blank. To see these or to produce results that matter to me, fill in the blank. Simple. All right, let's go to Grace Fair. Should I make a lateral move in order to get a raise? If it will only be a couple hundred more a month, I'm at the salary cap at my current job. Yeah, a couple $100 a month to me is not worth all the fuss. Now, if you are in a toxic environment, it's always good to move out. But again, let's talk about moving up. I don't want to be thinking about a lateral move right now. You're not telling me, Grace, that there's some toxicity that you're dealing with. So in this situation, it's not worth all of the inconvenience to move laterally. Now, I'm all about inconveniencing you to move vertically, to move up. So let's look at what the next move up is. You're capped. It's time to start thinking something else. So start looking right now. But let's not make a lateral move. That's just not smart. Let's wait, hold until you can make that vertical move. One more here. Okay. Oh, this is great, Nathan. Folks, if you're new to the YouTube show, I take great joy in some of these usernames. They're fantastic. This is all-time top 5 so far. The Princess of Dixie Hill. That's pretty fantastic, isn't it, Joe? The Princess of Dixie Hill writes in, is there any way to help the leaders of my company realize that people are leaving because of them? Oh, ouch. Okay, now I got to handle this one with care, Princess of Dixie Hill, because the answer is yeah. The answer is yes. But this is going to take some forethought, thinking ahead of how you would do this, and then it's got to be delivered with the most velvet of touches. So here we go. A, think through the leaders that need to know this. All right, now, are they healthy enough? Do you have any evidence that they would actually handle this information the right way? Because if you don't have any evidence that they would handle this in a way that a good leader, or at least a decently healthy leader would, which is, oh, wow, that stinks. That hurts. That stings. That does not feel good at all. But okay, I'm going to dig into this and verify what you're saying because I don't want this to be true. That's the response that you would want. If they aren't going to handle it that way and you have no evidence of that, you've got evidence to the contrary that they would be very defensive and then take that pain that they're going to experience when you tell them this and turn it on you, then I think you need to be leaving the company as well. It's just that simple. Okay. But if you think they can handle it, the way you handle that is, listen, I like being here and I want to continue to be here. We've had a lot of people leave and it has come to my attention that they are citing our leadership structure and some of the things that are happening. Don't make it personal. They're not citing you. Don't make it that way, even though that's probably the case. You want to focus on the leadership actions or some of the structures or the behaviors that are just kind of a part of the culture. So it's not directly them. The leader can make the change, but they've kind of just fallen into a default mode of the way we treat people, because you're saying leaders plural. So if you handle it that way, if you think that they're going to be healthy about this, then I do it. But understand, I want you to have a backup plan, because some people don't handle even the kindest and most sensitive constructive criticism. They just can't handle it. So that's how I'd go with that. All right, 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Real quick teaching today. Some of you right now are struggling because you're trying to control things that you can't control. All right. I'm talking to you. Look at me. Some of you right now are so overwhelmed with stress and anxiety and self-induced pressure. And I want you to consider for a moment that you are the source of this. Now, not every one of you, but I think there's a lot of you right now that need to hear this message. And I'm speaking from experience. And here's what's happening. You are trying to control things that you have zero control over. If you can step back and see that and go, oh my gosh, I can't control these things that I'm all stressed out about. It will free your soul and it will heal your body. Let me say that again. If you let go, this iron grip, you're just gripping this thing like, oh, I'm trying to control it. And you let go. It's going to free your soul and heal your body. Now, let me tell you the 3 things that you can control. And this is a part of letting go so that you become free and you heal. Because when you go, oh, these are the only 3 things I can control, I want to take that weight off of you. Here they are. Number 1, what you focus on. You can control what you focus on. So stop focusing on all the negative junk. Stop. Just stop it. What do you need to be focused on that is good? Change what you focus on. Number 2, what you believe in. You can control what you believe in. Now, focus is my mindset and what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking about, and allowing these thoughts to stay in my head and then kind of seep down to my heart. But let's talk about belief. What do I believe? What do I believe about people? What do I believe about a problem that needs to be solved? What do I believe about my family? What do I believe about the world? What do I believe? What do I believe I should do? What do you believe? You can control that. And then 3rd, what you act on. So first is what you focus on. You can control that. You can focus what you believe in, and then you can focus what you act on. See, somebody comes at you, life throws you something that you didn't expect that's negative. You can't control that, but you can't control how you react, what you act on. So a simple thing there. I'm going to control how I act. I'm in a toxic environment. I'm going to control how I act. It's all I can control. Cannot control the toxic person, the horrible leader. Can't control. Can't control what's happening in Washington, D.C. Can't control what's happening around the world. But I can control how I act. Simplify, folks. Simplify. I can control what I focus on, what I believe in, and what I act on. That will free the grip. Release the anxiety, the stress. Heal your soul. Heal your body. I promise. I'm speaking from experience. And I'll just be very candid with you, very transparent, very vulnerable right now. I've gone through this in the last year big time. Just being a parent. And I got good kids. Thank God. I'm not dealing with crazy stuff that a lot of parents have to deal with. Painful stuff. I'm not. But being a parent who's for the first time parenting a middle schooler and now a second one has jumped in, I had some control issues. I was trying to control things that I cannot control. And I had to let go. This worked for me, and I'm personally giving it to you. It will work for you. It's going to change your life. All right, back to the phones we go. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Real quick, I want to mention, if you have stepped into your dream job recently or you're about to, when you do that, we want you to email us, ask@kencoleman.com, or call the number and just leave a voicemail if we're not live, or you can call in live. 844-747-2577. Oh, that's not true. You want to talk to them ahead of time. I get a little excited. Email is preferable because we have a questionnaire. Thank you, Madison. I get a little excited. I'm like, come on, do your dream scream. So here's the point. We want to celebrate you, and we want you to tell your story, and that's why we do the questionnaire, because it gives me the details, and we walk you through it on air, and you count from 3, 2, 1, and you say, I'm living the dream. These things are so fun. We've done several, but as the show grows and gets older, more people are going to do it. And so if that's you, ask@kencoleman.com, and we won't do it live. Thank you, Madison, for the correction. And then what we'll do is get you scheduled, and we'll do your dream scream. So would love to do that. And by the way, too, if you've called the show before, call in, give us an update, even if you're not in the dream job. I love the update calls. We love that. And it really encourages people when they hear you winning. All right, let's go to Belinda, who is in, oh my goodness, this is where my parents live, Smithfield, Virginia. Belinda joins us. Belinda, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Oh my gosh, your parents live in Smithfield?
Are you ready for this? They live in Carrollton, Virginia, right outside of Smithfield. I mean, just miles away.
Yeah. I lived, I was in an apartment in Carrollton.
Yeah.
Right over the James River Bridge.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. That's where I grew up. I moved there. Well, that's not true. We were in Newport News, and I moved there when I was 16. But parents still live there. Was back over the break.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm very excited.
Love
What's
it.
going
Love
on?
Smithfield. Love it over there.
Yeah.
Actually, I spent the last 30 years in Yorktown.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've recently gone through a really hard divorce, and my husband dumped me for someone younger and
I'm so sorry.
thinner and all that.
Oh.
So I'm in this dilemma because pretty much, I'm 55 years old, and so half my life has been spent with this man.
Yep.
And it was an emotionally abusive relationship, but I won't go into details. But my point is, for 30 years, my life was all about my kids and my husband. That's what I lived for. I work where I work because he told me to work here.
Right.
And I'm still here.
Yep.
30 years later. I'm fairly good at what I do, and I make a really good salary at it. But as you kind of come out of it and your head kind of clears up a little bit, and you start praying, you're like, okay, who am I?
Yes.
And what is it I'm supposed to do?
Yes.
And I hit total roadblocks when I, take those questionnaires that my therapist has given me a gazillion of. I hit total roadblocks. I don't know, because I don't know. I don't know who I am.
So we got to dig in here. Now, this is tough because your therapist hasn't been able to help you. So now here we are live on the air, and I got to do, well, you put the pressure on me, but I'm going to do what I only know how to do. And that is, I need you to stop thinking, and I need you to feel. I need you to shut your brain off, because you've been emotionally abused. Everything you've done has been about everybody else, and you have forgotten who you are. But you know who you are. You've just forgotten who it is. Am I right, Belinda?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Let's go way back. Young Belinda, high school, middle school, I don't care, 9, 10 years of age. What did you dream about? What is something that you said once or twice or 3 times? Maybe even you've allowed that thought to creep in over the last year or so.
I have no idea.
That's just simply not true.
I think I have forgotten. I think I've blocked it out. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm taking you way back.
What to major in college?
Yeah, no, but what would you have done? What would you have done if mom and dad? What would you have tried? What would you try tomorrow? I can give you the money that you're making right now. You don't even worry about anything. You try it tomorrow. What would you try? What would seem fun for you to just try and go, holy cow, I'm getting paid to do this? What would you try?
Okay. There's two things.
Yay! Say it now before you change your mind. Say it.
Well, I bought a house in Smithfield once my divorce was final, and I bought a fixer-upper.
Great.
So I really like doing those kinds of things.
Fantastic.
I kind of like doing that stuff.
Okay, I'm going to write down I'm going to do restoration. We're just going to call it restoration, okay? Now, what's the second thing?
Okay.
You had 2 ideas. What's the second one?
Well, the second one is I definitely have a story to tell and to share.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I see it helping many different kinds of people.
Mm-hmm. Who? Tell me who.
Other women that have been in my situation.
Okay.
And I had thought about that, and God, I think, just said to me, not yet. He just said, you're not ready.
Interesting.
It was too painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second thing is, I am a CPA.
Yeah.
I don't work as a CPA because my husband is a CPA, a very successful one.
Yeah.
And so couldn't
well, let me ask you this.
All
right, so hold on a second.
I sit in the hospital and work.
All right, so this is super simple. If I guarantee, so if you could only choose being successful in restoring, good grief, restoring houses, or helping women that are in abusive relationships or unhealthy relationships or in some type of recovery after divorce, or you're going to be a really successful CPA, you could only choose one. Which one would you choose?
Restoration.
Yeah, that's the answer. Now, what's interesting is I actually think I made you choose one, but I actually see all 3 of these things in your future. Because I wonder if you don't get out and just consider, you're really good at your job, but you've been there forever. But what if you transitioned into being a CPA, because you know what it takes, you know you're good at it, and you got into a new environment, fresh start, coming out of the painful divorce, and you start making really good money, more money than you're making now, right? Yes?
I make a lot of money.
Okay, here's the deal. Then we make equal amount. But the point is you change your location, okay? Or you stay. I don't care. I'm giving you options.
I don't want to stay.
Okay, then I get it.
I don't want to. It's not that I hate it. It's not that they're mean to me. It's not that.
I get it.
It's
Belinda, listen to me.
This is not what I want to do.
I know.
I'm 55 years old, and this is what I was not meant to be.
I know, but here's the point. If you become a CPA, you get a new start. And making good money as a CPA helps fund your side business, which is going to be restoring houses and flipping houses. And then you're going to get to the point 3, 4, 5 years from now where maybe you do that full time. And then your flipping houses funds what you're going to do with women. And maybe that's more of a volunteer. It's not a money maker, but it's just a pure passion to help women recover from what you've recovered from once you're healthy. I see all 3 things potentially working together. I see the CPA role funding your dream job, which is basically you become a real estate mogul, in Hampton Roads, Virginia, right? And
hey, there's a lot of rundown houses around here.
A lot. I know exactly where you live, okay? There's a lot of opportunity for you. So what do you think about being a CPA and you do the flipping houses on the side, and then all that profit and all that money you're making, you start helping restore women? Ooh, we're restoring houses and we're restoring women.
I think I'd have to do, for a while, I'd have to do some of the CPA stuff on the side.
By the way, it's a progress. It's progress.
My skills.
That's right. But here's the deal. 55. It's a lot of life left, and you're in charge. So I love this. I think I'm going to switch positions, change my location, change my perspective, get healthy, start doing more restoring over time. I love it. Belinda.
I like it.
I do too. I think you're very clear. You know exactly what to do.
I think you made me have a eureka moment.
Say that again? You broke up.
4 years of therapy haven't done.
Yeah, so you did 4 years of therapy.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah, we got there in 5 minutes, folks. There's the endorsement of the Ken Coleman Show. 4 years of therapy, 5 minutes with Ken. And by the way, Belinda, tell everybody how much this phone call cost you.
This phone call cost me Zero.
$0. Belinda, it's time to go. And ironically, it's time for me to go. But hey, before I do, you matter. You have what it takes. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.